What's good, everybody? We're here back at it with a reaction video, and today, this video, games where you're allowed to be conservatives, apparently. I saw this, I had to react. And I have the appropriate colors. Because I'm gay.
Greetings, my good bitches. The name's Francis. Coke Francis. I'm an editor, Twitch streamer, drag art.
Hold on, let me look at this shit. So we got Animal Crossing in the back, Final Fantasy, Fallout. That's a sick jacket, I'd wear that. With the buttons. She's got the bob. She's got Persona 5. All right, looking good. Oh, Final Fantasy. I don't know who's back there. Oh, that's Homelander. Type shit.
Artist, and I'm here because has this ever happened to you? You're
She looks like a certain character from I think a game, and I can't think of who.
just a guy being a dude, and you've had a long day of doing whatever it is you do all day. Work, day drinking, ice applications, calling women fat on the internet, you name it. And now it's time to relax and unwind. And what better way to do that than with a nice video game? That new one you've been wanting just came out. You've been waiting for a long time. You might have even sent death threats to developers for any delays. But the past is the past. And now
Ball
it's
and
time
gun
to
gamers.
sink your 3 teeth into a game where you mow down civilians with a firearm that can be purchased at any Texas Walmart. The title screen comes on with a firearm that can be purchased at any Texas
Oh, hell no. Dude, imagine if the story gets...
Walmart. The title screen comes on. Yes! It's finally playtime. The character creation menu shows up and, I'm sorry. You have to pick a body type. Whatever happened to just man and lady? No matter though. As long as you can still create a character with gigantic porno slopper waifu taste, the game should at least be somewhat playable. Wait a minute. What do you mean you can only give your female girl character double Ds? What is this, North Korea? You try to push this out of your mind, but then you're presented with the dreaded question, what are your character's pronouns? It's an all too familiar feeling. You, a straight white cisgender...
By the way, I'm going to say this. If you hate pronouns, then you hate your identity. Because your identity is pronouns. Don't say otherwise. Now, if you would tell me, I know people always say what they identify as. Wouldn't you want to know? Right? What if someone assumes you're a girl? Like, are you gonna be like, no, actually, I'm a boy? Hey, you just told me what your pronouns are, so it's he, him, right? It's the same thing. It's said in a different way, but it's the same thing.
Male have once again been victimized by the gaming industry, which insists on including any characters that don't appeal to the id of your chud desires. Only 85% of games these days have male protagonists, and a mere 60% of female protagonists can actually get your pee-pee hard. Isn't it bad enough that 3% of game protagonists are black? What's next? 4%? 5? Even 6? When you found out that less than 2% of games featured openly queer or trans...
Wait, less than 2% of video games on major consoles and PC feature LGBTQ, hate that word, or hate that letter, plus characters or storylines according to the 2024 report from GLAAD, despite 17% of active gamers identifying as LGBTQ, hate that letter. While a number of queer players, I hate that word, has increased 70% since 2020, LGBTQ, hate that letter, plus characters are severely underrepresented in or as main characters, falling behind representation rates in film and TV. So there's less than 2% of characters that are like main protagonists and shit, but we want to say like, oh, everything's well.
characters. That was your trail of tears. Simply put, the gaming industry has been hijacked by liberal politics and the woke agenda. And you now come to the internet with a humble question. Are there any conservative games out there? Well, today, you just might have your answer. A while back, I made a video about Steam's woke content detector, which is the ultimate guide for passionate gamers whose maker...
Oh my god. This fucking stupid shit. This is the type of shit that like ball and gun gamers would make. If ball and gun gamers were grifters, this would be the type of shit that they would make. Be like, like imagine. No, actually, picture this. Imagine ball and gun gamers, right? They'll be like, you can't recommend this game. I haven't seen a ball or a gun in this game. I recommend this game because there's a mini game where you could play in basketball. Like, imagine that shit. Oh my fuck.
break when buying a game is whether or not a black person is in it. Or, heaven forbid, two dudes
What did that say
buying
for
a
Dave the
game
Diver?
is whether or not a black
Contains overly pro DEI messaging. The player character is a fat guy who can somehow deep dive and swim long distance without trouble. The sous chef is black.
person is in it. Or, heaven forbid, two dudes
Contain subtly pro LGBTQ messaging. Optional homosexual romance. Optional. So it means you don't have to do it.
smooching. But it raised another question. In the midst of all of these woke games, are there any games left that aren't? There have to be some games out there without a strict political agenda that also reinforce traditional conservative values. Right? Well, as a gamer and a bisexual, non-binary, Jewish, mixed-race, ADHD drag queen,
What you said? Bisexual? Let me dap you up.
I set off on yet another side quest to find a game that will finally make everyone happy.
Those eyes and eyelashes are fucking huge. God damn.
Games where the worst guy you knew in high school who couldn't even make it as an ICE agent will see a reflection of himself in, no matter
That's
how
crazy.
much of a cell phone it might be. Games where you can finally be conservative. Apparently. Now, just because these guys don't have a date for Valentine's Day doesn't mean you don't. Whether you're celebrating with a partner
Actually, I
or
don't.
even by yourself, self-love is very important,
Actually,
and there is
facts, though.
no better gift for
Facts though. Everybody, you don't need validation from other people for love. Love yourself first, and the love from other people will come through because they'll notice that you're not trying to seek validation from them because that shit could get tiring.
yourself, your partner, or both of you than cute and or matching underwear. MeUndies is the sponsor
Okay,
of
this is where I do that.
regularly scheduled programming. Now, it's important to note that even though I never shut the up about video games, sorry mom, I haven't played every single video game mentioned in these discussions. But it's time for me to finally expand out of my woke little Steven Universe safe space and start digging into real games for real men, conservative men. Before the advent of Gamergate 2.0 in 20
Wait, hold on. What? What does this mean? Still playing? Simply Eve is hottest when she's not revealing everything. Gunnar misled. Wait, this is the email just to contact developers directly. Ask them politely to restore these costumes uncensored for as many reasons possible. Final Fantasy. Oh, Grums, this bitch ass nigga. Final Fantasy Gone Woke. Steam reviews dropped to mixed. Video clip added. Players are upset with the latest MMO expansion, which shifts the story away from the player to focus on Wook Lamont, an NPC which finds itself that they find insufferable and who is voiced by a trans voice actress. Why is this here? Why did they censor the outfit? You said you wouldn't have censorship, but you released the patch because some whiny journalists, you went against what you said. Wow. Don't put a comma, put a fucking period, dude. We want the holiday habit outfit without censorship.
2024, discourse over conservative core games first burst through the Twitter placenta back in 2023 with this post. Here's the final list of the
Oh, this is good. So, violence of conservative core games mostly chosen by you guys. Let's see what we got here. We really gonna put Toho Project. Okay, bro. Darktide, Doom. Okay, sure. Ocarina of Time. Doesn't Ocarina of Time have Tingle? How is that conservative? It has fucking Tingle in it. Sniper Elite. Okay, you're shooting a certain type of person from the 1940s. Mortal Kombat. Wait, People were always saying Mortal Kombat is woke. How is Mortal Kombat there? Sky. No way you fucking put Skyrim in that bitch, bro. Persona? You're trolling. I don't know about RimWorld. Morrowind is under the same as Skyrim. I never played it, but it's still under like the same umbrella, I feel. Quake, okay. Silent Hill 3? Buddy. Oh, Parasite Eve? Okay. 007? No, alright. Perfect Dark, I don't know about that. Battlefield 4, we can't be serious, dude. Dino Crisis, I haven't played it. Fallout 3, haven't played it. Counter-Strike, okay. Arma 3, Squad, Ready or Not. Those half these are fucking military shooters, dude. Modern Warfare 4, Company of Heroes, Devil May Cry. No way they fucking put Fire Emblem in that bitch. No fucking way. Mega Man? Mega Man? Stalker, Bioshock, nigga. Halo 2, Battlefield 3, Call of Duty Black Ops, Dawn of War, Ninja Gaiden 2, Metro, Space Marines, Killzone, Dead or Dead or Alive, huh? Okay. God of War 3 and Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Oh, I'm so curious how this shit's gonna work.
Conservative core games, mostly chosen by you guys. Leave your thoughts below. So Mr. Christ is King in Bio posted this graphic, and it immediately went viral for obvious reasons. A lot of people immediately dismissed it as rage bait, but that would mean OP is even stupider than we thought. Like, you're gonna have a take this stupid and not even earn any engagement revenue off of it, in addition to your standard military slop, and the games where players blindly worship the institutions that the game is criticizing. There were some perplexing choices here. Most specifically, Persona 4, a game about children who uncover a murder plot by a corrupt cop, and also has some of the frankest discussions about gender and sexuality in any JRPG, let alone one that originally came out in 2008. I spent way too much time trying to make a connection here before realizing that this was just a thing where a guy included everybody's favorite games. People would see their favorite games and freak out, and thus keep the Twitter ecosystem healthy and thriving as usual. Like any good internet investigation, I decided to start with the best, healthiest place to ask questions in this free marketplace of ideas, reddit.com. The first thread I found was an r/ask conservatives, which is probably the most reasonable conservative subreddit out there. And by reasonable, I mean a place with transgender topics currently on moratorium. What are some conservative video games? I saw a thread about movies a couple days ago and wanted to ask the same about video games. I'm having a hard time finding anything that doesn't have a liberal woke message. Now, we all know the reason as to why this person can't find a game without a liberal woke message.
You know what, guys? If you want a consistent game that never has any woke messaging, play NBA 2K, right?
The first reason is that video games are made by artists, and conservatism is antithetical to art. Conservatism itself upholds the authoritarian, oppressive regimes and figures that are frequently the antagonist in video games, especially in RPGs. The second reason that anything that does not perfectly conform to his worldview is woke is because it probably features demographics of people that he would never respect in real life, so why should he have to in his video game safe space? No matter. Let's see what some of the answers here are. Alex Jones, NWO Wars, here's the trailer if you want to see. Do I want to see? Is Stephen Miller 411? I am ready to not remove for violating terms of service. Oh, thank God. Someone else uploaded it.
I'm here to save the Beagles. Stop torturing pups.
Did PETA make this game too? Sounds pretty woke to me.
The answer to 1984 is 1776. They're turning the friggin' frog game.
This is amazing.
Let's free the Patriots.
I don't know, guys. We're off to a pretty great start here. I don't think anything can top this one. I should stream this game.
Machine gun.
Days Gone. Got it free on PS5 years after launch.
Whoa. Hold on. Zero bug glitches. The writing's impactful. Actually,
Zero bugs or glitches, the writing was impactful, I actually cared and was interested in
Days
the people and the
Gone?
relationships. I thought it was okay, but there was definitely a clear feminist slant. The female love interest was unlikable and didn't seem to care nearly as much about the protagonist as he did about her. The villain was overtly sexist and had a negative religious and military theme. Ah, God, I should have known. How could I get my hopes up? Goddamn wokeness, making villains sexist again. Victoria 3? I mean, you can technically play as a communist, but you can also be conservative or right-wing. Ah yes, the illusion of choice. You can ban immigrants, enact slavery, change economic mode to libertarian. Well, at least Ask Conservatives is willing to admit that legalizing slavery is, in fact, a conservative value. You know it was the Democrats that wanted to keep slavery, right? Insurgency Sandstorm. Fight terrorism in co-op. Counter-Strike. Fight terrorism as a counter-terrorist to counter the terrorists. Tom Clancy series of games. Just say military slop and move on. I mean, that's completely...
Wait, hold
Clancy.
on. Tom Clancy? Bro. Tom Clancy's been known some of his conservative beliefs in this and thus spawned a video game series.
Series of games. Just say military slop and move on. I mean, that's completely ignoring the fact that most war
By the way, I'm gonna say this outright. I hate the word blank slop. It's so fucking annoying. But sometimes it is warranted.
games are actually very critical of war and the military-industrial complex, but media literacy is not what we're interested in here. Only bang bang pew pew come home bang my wife values. What about Call of Duty? You simp for Reagan? You downplay American war crimes? And it's an immersive experience where you get to tell real women to make you a sandwich. Homefront: The Revolution tells you why the Second Amendment exists and why you must fight against tyranny. I can't believe I'm saying this, but holy shit, more conservatives really need to play Homefront: The Revolution. Assassin's Creed series teaches you the history of the world, kind of. It's the kind of part that is truly a
I actually fucking can't. These are the same people that say that. Because he said the series. He didn't say Assassin's Creed like Black Flag. He said the series. And y'all been saying the series has been woke since like, what, Unity? I think. I think Unity, like the one where you play like as the siblings. Maybe sooner than that. Maybe it was like after Black Flag. I don't know. But y'all been saying an Assassin's Creed series is woke, and now you're saying like, oh well, it teaches you history.
hallmark of conservative history. Another person asked a similar question in the same subreddit. Conservative gamers, what video games do y'all play? It's as the title says, your favorite video games. Can be any type of game that you like playing. A bit less radical of a question here. OP seemingly isn't asking for a game with conservative values, simply asking his fellow surveys what games they enjoy playing the most. Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas.
Why is it always Fallout? I don't get that. Why is it always fucking Fallout?
Let's see where this goes. There is something ironically patriotic playing a game in a world that revolves around post-nuclear America, where nationalism appears to be a theme throughout for the antagonist faction in 3, where in the former, in one mission, you fight alongside a robot named Liberty Prime that exudes American pride. Liberty Prime mentioned, and not a totally inaccurate take, especially after somebody posted this meme in my subreddit, which is apparently a thing, and
Wait, hold on. I sent you to the beta conservative Fallout fan for 10 minutes. Oh yeah, no. That's a fate worse than death, bro.
I was completely unaware of until very recently. I do think Fallout 3 fits this person's description more than Fallout New Vegas, which, as you all know, is a gateway to homosexuality and transgenderism. Name another game where bisexuals do 10% more damage. I'll wait. Hell, I'll look it up right now. Sorry, this thing takes a minute to turn on. Yes, I have the Pimp Boy 3 billion from Fallout New Vegas. I have better friends than you. Sorry. Okay. According to my Pimp Boy 3 billion, it says that Fallout New Vegas is, in fact, the only game where bisexuals do 10% more damage. So, here's a
I gotta
question
play the
someone
game.
proposed in our
I gotta
gaming.
play the
What are
game.
some video games that support socially conservative ideologies? Now, this is in the general gaming subreddit and not a conservative echo chamber, so I'm definitely interested in seeing the responses to this. Police Simulator. Hold up. Mitchell and I streamed that game.
Shift over, you committed police brutality! Holy shit! They literally will punish you in ways that our own justice system does not.
I don't know how accurate this comment is, though, because Police Simulator actually punishes you for police brutality, which is good, but boring. God, that game was balls. Dream Daddy is pretty good. All the women in the game dress very modestly, and there is a huge
No way that someone said Dream Daddy socially conservative. There's just no way. There's no way. There's no way. There's just no way.
emphasis on marriage. I streamed that game too. If you know, you know. It just got really quiet. Do straight people even like each other? Hashtag justice for Mary. The Bible game? I need to retitle this video to games I need to stream as soon as humanly possible. Apparently, this was a real game for PS2 and Game Boy Advance, where you basically hunt demons, whack them with the Bible, and then
Bro.
challenge them to Bible
No
trivia.
way. This looks like for those who, if you know, you know. But My Street, it looks like fucking My Street, but way fucking worse.
Apologies, Christianity. I was unfamiliar with your game. Leisure Suit Larry. This is
Oh,
the best
no.
answer. If they truly want an anti-woke, politically incorrect game with lots of boobies,
Someone has
look
to say
no
Postal,
further
right?
than the Hugh Hefner simulator from the 1990s. This is
Someone-
actually what Rush Limbaugh wanted to be, but he was too physically and verbally
Hold on.
repulsive to do so. So
Someone
much for
someone
the
has to say
tolerant
Postal. Someone has to say
left.
Postal.
Am I right, fellas? Bioshock 1 is heavily influenced by Ayn Rand's philosophy of objectivism, as presented in her books The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged. And we all know how perfectly Rapture turned out. This is a very interesting answer to me because OP didn't ask what games positively supported socially conservative ideologies, just whether or not they did. Rapture is often described as a libertarian utopia gone wrong, but if anything, it just reached its natural conclusion. And we all know how badly conservative men need a big daddy to look after them. Oh, here's a thread I'm gonna have to
True.
pop a radix before diving into. Oh, I ran out after my last video. This was asked in R Kotaku in Action. What are some
Oh,
good
no.
conservative or libertarian leaning games that have come out in the last decade? The opposite of shoving politics into everything is not shoving different politics into everything. Why does it have to be political? I just wanted to play games based and grill pilled. Persona 5 Royal has a very strong
Bro, I don't want politics in my game. I just want to play the game. Okay, cool. Persona 5. I fucking
populist and anti-totalitarian message in it. Plus, the game promotes individuality, redemption, and justice. I was today years old when I learned that the party who disowns people for being gay, deports and kills US citizens with no due process, and licks the boots of modern-day slave catchers promotes individuality, redemption, and justice. Oh, and that a game about autistic teenagers beating up a file jock, a mob boss, a billionaire CEO, a cop, and a Republican politician represents conservative values. And because we were just talking about Bioshock, I just thought of
Welcome to the Circus of Value!
I'm saying the Persona series because it shows how you can tackle woke topics in a tasteful manner. It handles topics like sexism, sexuality,
now
mental
we can-
health,
it's
exploitation,
tasteful.
female empowerment,
Ah,
etc.
true.
in a way that is not preachy or condescending. Okay, so riddle me this. What games out there do handle those topics in a preachy and or condescending way? Please name one. Well, there's plenty out there. Do your research. The one boss fight conservative gamers have never beaten? The follow-up question. I would have said Ground Branch, but then they implemented female operators into their realistic tactical spec ops shooter, and the devs are diligently
It's so crazy. Like, look, I'm a proponent where Let's support the games we play and shit. Whatever. What the fuck is Ground Branch? What the absolute fuck is Ground Branch, bro? Like, y'all are saying these random ass games, I swear, like, it's some chat GPT shit.
Defending their positions in every Steam thread about how realistic women in Tier 1 elite groups like Delta Special Activities Division. Clearly, being woke is more important to them than making actual content for the game. Can you believe it? Even recruitment propaganda isn't safe from all these realistic women and their DEI chins. Ghost of Tsushima is
DEI
very
chins.
traditional in its values. The only progressive element is the title character struggling with adopting dishonorable but effective tactics in the face of the more modern and adaptable Mongols. This guy really saw a samurai in the year 1274 and was like, dude, this is exactly like the time my job asked me to put my pronouns in my email signature. But otherwise, it's very pro-tradition, pro-nationalism, and pro-martial values. There's female supporting characters, but they're bandits and archers, not samurai. There's no girl boss stuff. See guys, they don't actually have a problem with female characters in video games, as long as they're systematically inferior to men and can't financially support themselves. That is a-okay. Why stop at going back to the 1950s when we could go back 800 years instead? Keep regressing, I say. Here's a similar question asked in an albeit very different subreddit. Are there any games that send a right-wing message? I'm not rightist, but I'm really curious about this because the great majority of games that care to leave a message are usually not pro-status quo, which isn't a problem to me. It's the exact opposite, just to be fair and square. Hogwarts Legacy. Finally. I talked about this in my Woke Games video and how my partner and I were cracking up at the fact that Joanne's head was probably exploding at the default they-them pronouns. Hogwarts Legacy was actually listed as not recommended on the Woke Content Detector due to 1800 Scotland somehow having diverse LGBTQ+ characters in a game where you ride a broomstick and become a Thestral.
Okay, I'm sure y'all saw where it said it used body type instead of biological sex. So, what if you want to create a certain type of character? Here's the thing about creative characters. Creative characters, you can literally just do whatever you want. Why the fuck would you want to limit me just so I could be conservative for a video game? The video game is fucking fantasy. Who gives a fuck what the character looks like? It's a fantasy. If it was supposed to be grounded in reality or more realistic, then I would say, okay, maybe I have a point. Even though you still don't have a point, I would say maybe you have a point. Bitch, it's fantasy and it's fucking Hogwarts. It's fucking Harry Potter. What are we doing?
Breeder. In the game, you're suppressing a goblin rebellion. The minority goblin group is framed as the enemy for rebelling against their human oppressors to fight for freedom and equal rights. The goblins in the game and the books are also based on a bunch of anti-Semitic stereotypes. So there are two things that Hogwarts Legacy did really well. They really did recreate Hogwarts and the surrounding areas. If exploring Hogwarts is what you wanted to do, the game delivers on that front. They also stayed very faithful to the source material. And by that, I mean they recreated Joanne's neoliberal utopia where nothing changes, and victories are always confined to returning to the status quo, no matter how harmful or problematic it might be. Suppressing a goblin rebellion is absolutely in the spirit of a book series where elves are slaves, and speaking out against that means you're an insufferable SJW. I gave the game a fair shot, really I did. I even looked past the fact that my favorite goblin character looked a bit too much like some of my family members, and then they killed him off before the game was even over. In retrospect, God, that game was also balls. Oh hey, looks like there's finally a subreddit just for conservative gamers, with all of 12 weekly visitors. Wait, hold up.
Hold up!
So I assume this was intended to capitalize off of Steam's woke content detector. We now have an official website to track and identify all forms of insidious wokeness invading our safe spaces, called Worth It or Woke. And when you visit the site, you're greeted with a merch pop-up for
sitting
their
at-
Quality Leering Center shirt. Mark
I'm
my
sitting at a
words,
90-degree
we
angle
will
right
be
now.
hearing this joke in conservative stand-up specials for decades to come. I can already hear Rob Schneider working it into his next set, right after his "listen up liberal, my wife left me" jokes. You're also met with this newsletter subscription pop-up, and never in my life have I been more proud to say that I am too woke. Here's what ChatGPT wrote for them. Comprehensive conservative reviews of video games across genres and platforms. We rate for woke narratives, DEI influences, and family fun. There's that telltale M-dash. Helping gamers avoid agenda-laden titles. From RPGs to shooters, find games that prioritize skill, story, and escapism. You mean, like, video games? Well, first up on their homepage is my personal game of the year, Claire Obscure. So I'm sure they're thrilled about the mostly white cast, but complained about the option for man bun hairstyles. Based, 0% woke. By the way, the
What?
principal reason why so many leftist media tried to say it's bad because lacks of inclusion, DEI, and things like that. Setting aside that this guy's reading comprehension turned my Google Doc into a paragraph of grammar check underlines, literally nobody has said that. The only people who think the game is bad is the anime profile pic brigade who forced themselves to hate it after it swept the Game Awards. One of the best games I've ever played, and thankfully it was based. Read that before I bought it, and so glad I did. Read what? There are literally 0 critic reviews here, and the description is just saying what the game is. And even that isn't accurate. Mysterious plague? Shadowy organization? Hey, ChatGPT, if there was a game made by French people that looked like kind of dark and mysterious looking, what do you think it would be about? I don't actually want to play it because I'm worried it might be too woke. You're so right, Chad. What a brilliant idea. We'll come up with an answer together. The game takes place in France, so it might have something to do with a plague and a shadowy organization. You're so very smart and funny, and always have the correct answers for things. Back when Assassin's Creed Shadows came out, a bunch of racist chuds just could not wrap their heads around Hideki Kamiya enjoying a game that has a black person in it. But what they didn't read
Wait, I need
Kamiya
to read these. Mr. Comment, that is a very weak opinion, and is why nuanced streamers chose Japan as their playground. Crazy to think you worked alongside great people at Club. What the fuck is that? Oh no, why you, Hideki? I respected you. Take some balls and defend your land, dude. What the fuck? Can't you see the agenda behind this? It's clear as day. Don't be a traitor to your own beautiful culture. How dare you like a ass Creed Shadows? Maybe it's sympathy for fellow developers. Still, it's unforgivable. I'm shaking and crying. Ubi crap belongs in the dustbin of society. I hope Tencent buys them. Also, thanks for making God Hand. This fat Japanese man thinks that if he sucks Yasuke's ass, someone will come and get him money. Get to work, fatty! Only one of them has an anime profile picture. Oh. We're making progress. Enjoying a game that has a black person in it. But what they didn't realize is that my goat, Hideki Kamiya, always delivers. Are those the words you came up with all your limited brain power? By the way, maybe I should follow him on Twitter at this point, because he be cracking jokes, bro. He be talking mad shit all the time. Have you finished your school homework? It seems insects have even created poems. What a remarkable evolution. Get eaten by a bird and turn into poop quickly and come out insect? It's amazing the creativity of these insects who can create original stories from just a few words of mine. Please continue to shout from the trash can. So I assume after getting read to filth by the former director of Devil May Cry and Bayonetta, they came to this website
website to drown their sorrows. It is actually very woke. The main character is a black person that Ubisoft tried to convince us actually exited, using sources that don't even exited, or even created a short time ago and put.
Can y'all put your fucking like reviews and shit? Just at least put it into a Google Doc, just randomly. Just see if Google is gonna try to make you like change your spelling or some shit. Like, please, 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 can we do that? Can we actually fucking do that? Holy shit! Proofread. What is going on? And also let me go back. This is the same man. Hold on.
So I assume after getting read to filth, drown their sorrows.
Oh my god, I skipped it. Anyway, the same man that got you Bayonetta and Devil May Cry has some enjoyment with the game, and you say, "Oh, it's woke," and like he's woke for playing it and liking it. And it's like this man gave you fucking Bayonetta. If anything, and Devil May Cry, especially Devil May Cry, and I think some of y'all were even saying like Devil May Cry isn't woke. So he makes a game that isn't woke, but plays another one that you would consider woke, and now he's a problem. Now we need to cancel him.
It is actually very woke. The main character is a black person that Ubisoft tried to convince us actually exited, using sources that don't even exited, or even created a short time ago and put it in Wikipedia by a person who changed his name after. It feels very forced with this false inclusivity. They pushed so hard these stupid messages with people who didn't perform well developing, and that resulted in a boring, repetitive, and full of woke shit like body positive, body type.
Bro, why are you trying to like censor the word woke? Just say it. You're on your own fucking website. What the fuck? And then also it's more repetitive because Ubisoft makes the same fucking game over and over again.
The whole game. As a great man once said, please continue to shout from the trash can. As I neared the end of my research, I realized my time was running out, mainly because I had a deadline to post this video today per my sponsor. But just when I thought all hope was lost, I realized there was one place that I had not checked. Of course! How could I forget? Good old Conservapedia.com. And would you look at that? They do, in fact, have an article about the greatest conservative video games. Just gotta. Not again.
No. No, please.
So, for those of you who haven't seen my Conservapedia video, it's the brainchild of Phyllis Schlafly's sixth kid who got fired from Wikipedia and decided to start his own version that's untainted by the woke mind virus. And I had some fun digging around this bizarre simulacrum of curated misinformation, which included everything from the best arguments against homosexuality to Andy Schlafly's weird beef with the theory of relativity. And lo and behold, we have been blessed with the definitive list of conservative video games.
Whoa.
We have been blessed with the definitive.
Hold on, I need to see. There is this video. Okay, so this is instances. Hold on. That song was on my nose. I could have just looked here, but feeling and looking is two different things sometimes. Anyway, so hold on. So it is separated. This is separated by actual like companies, not just here's the game. And we have Ubisoft. One of the first ones you notice is Ubisoft's. Keep in mind, they're probably gonna be like, "Oh, Assassin's Creed 1, 2, and 3," and like maybe they'll have Black Flag. And that was the last good one. Watch, that's probably what's gonna be. Koei Tecmo. And notice how like a lot of these are also like Japanese developers too. Konami, EA. Wait, what? Nintendo? You really put Nintendo? Oh, I'm curious on what this fucking shit is. Sega, SNK, Square Enix, Capcom. Really? Bandai Namco, Rock. You really put Rockstar? No fucking shot. Mojang was fucking Minecraft up in this bitch. Rocksteady would be like Arkham series. Insomniac, Inner Sloth. No way that they actually put fucking like Among Us, dude.
list of conservative video games, using Olympics-level mental gymnastics to reassure players that their favorite games are, in fact, not woke. Similar to the woke content detector, these games have been categorized as greatest conservative games, and games that are debatable whether conservative, like Animal Crossing, where our filthy capitalist pig landlord Tom Nook is lauded, but criticizes Christmas and Easter being replaced with politically correct terms like Toy Day and Bunny Day. Because, as you know, no other culture besides American anywhere in the world ever. The mayor's secretary, Isabel, Tom Nook isn't the mayor. An eager and positive Shih Tzu is also the antithesis to a modern feminist. How? Why? She basically lives at her desk. Shouldn't she be at home in front of her ironwood kitchenette in that case? Now, for the greatest conservative games, we of course have the media illiteracy classics here, like Metal Gear Solid, or Dead or Alive, or literally any game by...
No way Metal Gear's in that bitch. No fucking way. Dead or Alive, like that. Okay, hot women fighting each other. Like, okay, oh, whoa, definitely conservative because they're hot females I can look at while punching other hot females. Like, but Metal Gear Solid, holy media literacy.
Japanese devs who have absolutely zero interest in the American culture war. We've also got the standard military slop here as well, like Contra, Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, Battlefield. Though Battlefield 5 was called out for, quote, betraying its fan base for the sake of being woke, allowing for female soldiers even though it has...
Isn't Battlefield 5, like, for Battlefield fans out there, isn't Battlefield 5, like, really looked at fondly for, like, being, like, one of the best Battlefields that have been made? Also, they misspelled Battlefield. It's just, you know, of course. Of course. Why bother fucking checking your spelling and shit? Why bother? We don't need that, right, fellas? That's why this, our reading and shit is, like, at less than a 6th grade level.
Historically inaccurate for non-Russian female soldiers in World War II. Ridiculous. Final Fantasy. You keep my wife's name out your f***ing mouth. The first game in the franchise has a simple tale of good versus evil. Well, I'm so glad they were able to simplify it for you then. I mean, that's kind of the premise of the entire Final Fantasy series, and every fictitious work ever that mirrors society. Devil May Cry series. You keep my wife's name out your f***ing mouth. Has messages about stopping demonic forces of hell and protecting humanity and having a heart with pro-family themes throughout the 5 games. Oh boy, nobody tell them about the DMC reboot, where Dante helps a goth baddie save the world. Batman Arkham series.
Hell, not even just that. Like, the one time where, maybe it was the same game, but when they fought the fucking, what was essentially the Alex Jones of the world, like that boss fight. Maybe I'll have it on screen on what the fuck maybe I'll have it on screen on what the fuck I'm talking about, but yeah, that boss fight.
The game stresses no violence and preferring players to use their wits to hide and stalk enemies rather than engaging in immediate violence. Batman never kills anyone, preferring to knock enemies out and leave them to be captured by police. Too bad that
Be so for real.
$1 billion ICE bill doesn't include mandatory copies of the Arkham games for training. Among Us, imposters are an allegory for how liberals and immigrants infiltrate society and degrade our culture. Crewmates follow conservative ideals of hard work, completing tasks, while the imposters merely pretend to work and must be deported. Is that what you picked up from it? This is like when Kanye went on that rant about how he's exactly like Vanellope from Wreck-It Ralph.
Y'all ever seen Wreck-It Ralph?
Yeah.
You remember how that girl in there, the people that was racing, she was the glitch.
Yeah.
You telling me they don't look at me like the motherfucking glitch? And she was on the side of the video game.
And finally, we have my personal favorite category, debatable whether great. The only entries for this section are the Home Alone games, which I was today years old when I found out about them, and I was also today years old when I learned that Home Alone is, quote, the greatest conservative film of the same name. I am so glad I consulted Conservapedia about this though, because just when I thought this might be a fun and funny game game for me to stream someday. The article informed me about the poor graphics and shallow gameplay, or that Home Alone 2 takes many liberties with the source material and has very flawed game design.
So it's only like even under the it might be great just because of conservatism, but not because of it being a video game. What honestly, at this point, why do you niggas play video games? Why? Why do you play video games? They're all woke anyway. Especially all the good ones. Why play video games anyway? What's the fucking point? Sorry, like we can't just like buy a game and say, hey, the gameplay is actually pretty good. Because I bet you these are the same people that would be like, gameplay over graphics, man. Gameplay over graphics. But then you want to like debate on how if a game is woke or not. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Is this your way of saying Donald Trump isn't in it? Because if so, that is a main selling point for me. Boy howdy, is there really no definitive source for conservative games? I mean, there's no definitive source for liberal games either, because they don't actually exist. Same way how traditional family values don't exist, but we already knew that. All that's happened is conservatives politicized basic human decency because their lives suck around these games and they need a scapegoat for being unable to enjoy their goddamn hobbies. Especially if they get banned from Xbox Live, like some people.
What do you mean Freddy Fazbear is listed in the Epstein files? What do you mean by that? What do you mean Jeffrey Epstein was sharing 4chan links to spicy images of Five Nights at Freddy characters in his emails? What do you mean by that? What do you mean that Jeffrey Epstein was banned from Xbox Live because he refused to help Bill Gates cover up the very STI that Jeffrey Epstein helped Bill Gates contract?
What?
What do you mean by that?
Jesus Christ. Here are some winning comments from the last video. Naomi Starlight6178 says, Milo Yian blah 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 looks like he's always trying to speedrun every bad mall haircut from the 2000s. Kylora2112 says, what's the difference between a chickpea and a garbanzo bean? Donald Trump has never had a garbanzo bean on his face. Radis Queer says, I hate you equivocating Joe Biden to Goro Ketchy, and I hate you even more for being right. I love the fact that I can make jokes like that, and I will have a significant portion of my audience actually understand that reference. That's not something you can do with stand-up, by the way. You too could be featured in the next video. Leave a comment below. I will pick my favorite ones and give you a shout-out next time. But if you'd like to guarantee...
And that's something I will not be doing. Because I don't usually leave comments. Even though I've been doing that a little bit more on TikTok rather than YouTube. Anyway. Well... that's it. So we found out that every game, or nearly every game, that every conservative picked for conservative values are shit. They're all shit. And the ones that are good put conservatism in a not so great light. And the third thing we learned is that everything is fucking woke. Everything that you've ever enjoyed in life, especially as a nerd, or just in media in general, it's woke. What the difference is that people are talking about it more, so you're starting to notice it more. But everything has always been woke, guys. So, shout outs. Thank you for the people who came. Thank you for the people who did it. And I will catch y'all when I catch y'all.